Hey guys, Clay here, and today I've got my hands on some brand new gear. So I thought I'm going to unbox it and review it for you guys. So grab your knife and let's get... No, actually don't grab a knife, that's just weird. I'll get a knife. Alright, got my knife, and here's what we're unboxing today. It is the MASHUPS Little Mark Tube 800. So I picked this up last week and I haven't had the chance to get into it yet, but I thought I'd do that with you guys, because how often do you get the chance to do an unboxing video on a YouTube channel about bass lessons? It's not going to be very often, I guarantee. There's probably going to be one of one unboxing videos in my unboxing video series, unless everybody wants to start sending me free gear to unbox, in which case, great. But yeah, so let's get opening it. Oh, yes. Okay, so here it is. You can see how I love on the Tube series where it has this beautiful sort of gunmetal grey, yet it's kind of still got a bit of yellow in it, front plate to them, as opposed to the yellow plate with black knobs that the non-Tube series from them have. So that's really enough about unboxing. Let's hear what it sounds like. We'll take it into the studio and start cranking it up. Okay, so here we go. Now it's all hooked up and ready to play, but first of all, a few of you guys who follow my channel may have noticed that I've actually already been using it in my videos the past few months. That's because I had a few sound issues recording this part of this video and had to basically redo it. So it's been about a 3-month trip from the unboxing to the studio today to film this part. The upside of that is I've had plenty of time using it to give you my verdict, so make sure you stick around to the end to see what I think. But first of all, let me give you guys a bit of a rundown about some of the tech specs and features of the amp. The Little Mark Tube 800 will be pretty familiar to any of you guys who have experience with Mark-based products. It's very similar to the rest of the Little Mark amp head series line, but with a few key differences. Mark-based have a wide range of amps and heads, and they use the latest in weight-saving technology to reduce the weight of all their products, and this comes in at an incredible 3 kilograms. This is extra impressive because, as it says in the name of the amp, this is 800 watts at 4 ohms or 500 watts at 8 ohms. It has a simple 4-band EQ, along with the standard Mark-based VLE and VPF controls. These stand for Vintage Loudspeaker Emulation and Variable Pre-Shape Filter. In simple terms, the VLE is a high roll-off and the VPF is a mid-scoop, or your classic smiley face EQ setting. The major differences between this amp and other Mark-based heads are the preamp and inputs. The twin topology input stage means you have both a classic solid-state preamp and a tube preamp. These two preamps are blendable with this knob here, so you're never locked into just one type of preamp tone. The other major difference is that it has 2 inputs with individual gain control. The second input also has a combination XLR and 1/4-inch jack connector, meaning you can connect an XLR cable for the upright players who use both mic and transducer pickups, and then you can blend them if you want to. There is a pull to mute option on the volume knob, and also your standard XLR line out on the back. Well, that's pretty much everything. So let's fire it up and have a listen to it. Okay guys, so I hope that demonstration helped, but it's verdict time. So, before I let you know what I think of the amp, why don't you guys let me know in the comment section what you thought of its sound. Now first of all, I should say this is in no way a paid video. This is purely my own opinion of the amp, and I will tell you guys what I do like about it and some of the things I don't or would possibly change as well. For me, I've been using this amp for a few months now in the studio, at gigs, and on tour, and I have to say, I absolutely love it. Now, I'm not the most technical gear geek guy out there, but I do know what I like and what I don't like, and I have quite a simple method for choosing an amp that I like. What I do is I plug in with my bass and I set all the EQ on the amp completely flat, as well as any effects on the amp, and also I set all the EQ on my bass completely flat as well. And then I play. If the natural tone of the amp is something that is close to, or better yet, is the tone that I like to play with most often, then I like the amp. This way, you know you have the headroom to move in whichever direction you need to compensate for the room that you're playing in. But if you're trying out an amp and you're having to tweak the settings quite a long way brighter or boomier, you may achieve the tone that you like, but when you get to a venue that requires you to be even more boomy or even brighter, you may find that you're already as bright or boomy as your amp can go. This amp has an amazing natural tone that leans towards a slightly bright, shimmering sort of sound, but with tons of mid-punch. As I'm mostly a jazz and funk musician, I find that this natural tone cuts through the funk style mix beautifully, and then when I need to dial it back a bit for jazz, I can use the VLE and tube blend knobs to be able to achieve a nice jazz tone. Now that I've sung its praises, here's a list of a few things that I maybe don't love about the amp and would possibly change if I could on a future model. Firstly, the amp doesn't come with rack ears and they have to be purchased separately. That's not a deal breaker, but it is a bit of a hassle if you plan to rack the unit. The pull to mute feature on the volume knob should really have been a separate button with a light, so you don't risk accidentally changing the level as you engage it. But still, I'm glad to have one at all, as many amp heads don't have a mute, so any mute is better than none. The outputs for the cabinets on the back are rather inexplicably one speak-on connector and one jack output. This is very odd. It means if you wish to use two cabinets in parallel, you will need at least one jack to speak-on or one jack to jack cable. This worries me as it's something I think I can easily have forgotten when going to a gig, and would rather have two of the same type of cable to connect to my cabs with. Lastly, a feature I would have liked to have seen on the Little Mark Tube 800 would have been an A-B switch between the two inputs, so you could choose to have only one input on and the other off, or both on if you wished. But again, I'm happy that I have two inputs, and it's a plus feature over most other amps. Well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that review and found it helpful. I'm quickly becoming a massive fan of Mark Bass, and I keep coming back to its biggest feature, which is it's just as light as a feather. I guess a 3 kilogram feather, which is probably pretty heavy for a feather, but still like crazy light for an amp. The cabs have the same gravity defying weight about them, and it all adds up to being an absolute lifesaver for your arms when you're carrying all your gear into a venue. So with all that said, I highly recommend the Little Mark Tube 800 if you're looking for a new amp head. Now, if you enjoyed that video guys, make sure you leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, make sure you ring that bell and enable alerts so you don't miss out on anything. But that's all for today guys, so until next time, go play, practice, and play some more. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and then click on one of these two videos to see what YouTube thinks you should watch next. Hey, they're both my videos. Good choice, YouTube.